everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful episode of Matcha Talk with the talented Nick White. I'm so excited to share this talk with you. Ever since I saw Nick's amazing work on his illustrated novel, Cat, The Legend of Gnawbonia, I said, I have to have this amazing artist on my Matcha Talk. And just getting to know Nick and his story, I am so very excited to share that with you. His background, he's an illustrator, he's a photographer, and he's created this amazing illustrated novel in 4 years. And he's working on volume 1 right now. So, everybody, grab your matchas and get ready for Matcha Talk with Nick White. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful episode of Matcha Talk with the incredibly talented Nick White. And I'm so excited to have you on, Nick. And first of all, because we share last names, which is amazing. And we talked a little bit about possibly, I don't know, like distant relatives.
I'm pretty sure about that. We're distant relative in-laws for sure. Yeah.
And I have to tell you, like, I'm so excited to have you on my Matcha Talk because I saw your work and, you know, your illustrated novel. And I'm just like, I have to have him on. And it's Cat, The Legend of Gnawbonia.
It is, and I am deeply honored that you would have me on board. So thank you, Mary.
You're so welcome. It is my honor to have you on, Nick.
No, it's mine.
No, really, it really is mine. It's mine.
All right, cool. You can have it.
Just
your show.
Just let me have it.
Okay, that's fine.
So I want to know about you because as soon as I saw your work, Nick, really, I was like, this artist is amazing. I love his work, your characters, and they're the most wonderful animals. And you know me, I love animals, you know, and they are my hearts. And so, and you give them all these beautiful little personalities, and I can't wait to get into your novel. But I first want to let everyone know about you and who you are and how you got into illustration, and you also do photography, and you're amazing. So let us know, who are you, Nick? How did you start with all of your talents?
Okay, well, it's a long story, so I'll try not to psychobabble too much and get too deep into everything. But first of all, as far as the whole animal thing goes, I think animals were kind of my first love. So that's kind of what got me into drawing, actually, originally. I used to just draw animals a lot. In fact, my first career move was potentially wanting to be an animal photographer, a wildlife photographer. I'd still love to do something like that. I mean, obviously, you know, with a family and that, it's definitely not ever going to happen. But I'm kind of doing that in a way anyway by drawing them, right? So,
yes,
you know, and I sort of apply quite, lighted sort of. I take a lot of focus on light and sort of cinematic approaches with my illustrations as well. So It's all kind of a mixture. You know, I think because I do lots of different types of art, it all kind of does help the other art that I do in a lot of ways. Do you know what I mean? So originally I actually drew my first book. I used to draw and write stories all the time. I actually thought about it the other day. My first book that I wrote and drew was when I was about 7. It was called, I think, The Lost Unicorn or something.
Oh my goodness, was it really?
Yeah. I used to be into unicorns. Luckily, I didn't do any.
I love unicorns.
Yeah. Unicorns are so great.
Yes, they are.
Horses with horns. So
magical.
Yeah. So that book's coming out next year. Need to do a few touches up on it. No, it's not.
Is it really? I'm like, oh Oh my gosh. I
I
want
wrote
a
that one
signed
myself.
copy immediately.
Okay, cool. I'll try and trudge it up for you. It's probably on my mum's house somewhere. Um, so going back, um, I guess back at school, like I used to be quite, I had an unusual upbringing, so I was quite antisociable at school. So I spent quite a lot of hours in the library drawing pictures and designing video games and stuff like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Not really. It's pretty lame.
No, it's not. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how cool.
Oh, it's not cool at all. I actually what started me well the first way that I started drawing, as opposed to like stick figures and all that, was I used to trace like Disney
Mm,
characters and stuff like that. I
mhm.
think that gave me a really good insight into how how characters are sort of molded on the page, I guess. So um, I left high school early. I didn't finish my HSC, which is year 12, which is the last 2 years I didn't do. Um, the reason why is because I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go to uni because I wanted to do something with art, obviously. And I researched a little bit, and there was colleges around that you didn't need your HSC for, so I decided to leave and save for my college course. So I actually left school and I moved out of home when I was about 16. Um, and I actually got into acting because I've always wanted to be an actor.
Mhm.
Um, so it's because I'm obsessed with films. So
Mhm.
I figured that was probably the best way to get into it. So I did that for maybe about a year or something. But unbeknown to me, how thick-skinned you have to be an actor out in the world. There's so many good actors out there that just don't get a shot because they're just not in the right place at the right time.
Mhm.
Um, and it also made me realize how many badly written scripts there are out there that actually get produced. The amount of terrible reads that I went for, they were just shocking, and it's really hard
But
to
they
make
get
a.
funded. But
They
they get
do.
funded.
So many people.
But wait,
Yes.
I need to know. So, is there anything that we can see of yours when you were doing acting? Are there any
Um,
films or anything out there that we can
yeah,
see?
there is something out there that
Yeah.
that could be trudged up for sure. Somehow, I don't know where it is. I recorded it on VHS back in the day, but it was actually the last thing that I did. It was a guest role.
Uh huh.
I was actually in Heath Ledger.
Yeah, of
Uh, yeah,
course.
I was
Yeah.
his. I think his first film. It was Two Hands. Um, it was
Wow.
shot in Sydney in King's Cross. It wasn't a big part. It was actually just my arm that ended up being in it. But I had to get dressed up as a homeless kid. So I was like, just like scraggy and covered in dirt, and I had to lay in an alleyway. And some kid got pickpocketed while he walked past. So it wasn't like anything big, but it's so easy to become financially. Um, Unavailable to pay your rent
Right.
and be homeless. Like it's most of the world are living paycheck to paycheck,
Mhm.
and there's been times where I mean I've got a good job at an advertising agency, and even having that and my wife working as well, we're still just working week to week, and
Right.
if something dramatic happened with, I don't know, like the car, or someone was injured or something like that, I mean, there would be shit to pay, there'd be hell. Like I honestly wouldn't know how we'd get out of certain situations unless we were to borrow money from relatives or something like that. So it's a tough economical climate that we're all sort of most of us are living through.
Absolutely. It is, Nick.
Hopefully that bubble pops to some
Yeah.
degree, and I don't know, and things work out. I don't know what the plan would be. I don't know how it would work, but hopefully there's smarter people out there that are making it happen.
Absolutely. And I love that you said that too, Nick, is that you don't know anyone's story. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know their story, their challenges, what they've gone through and all
Yeah,
of that, and to not judge and to have compassion and empathy. And and I think that that is so so important, and if people just kind of stopped and and thought about that, I think that that would make a real difference in the world. And that's why I love having you and all of these amazing artists that I know that I have the fortune to work with, and talk to, because I feel like especially art is such a big, beautiful light. And there's
Yeah.
always this really beautiful reason of why you create your art, and it's your voice, and you're sharing this with the world. And it could be, a piece that you've written that's very dramatic or emotional, or you're doing a scene in your in your novel that's an emotional but has meaning behind it that you
Yeah.
share, that resonates with everybody. And and this world really, really does need that. And and that's why I love animals. I mean, they're just like the most selfless, I want to say, loving beings that are just true to their nature and who they are. And especially dogs, which for me are true angels. I mean, truly, especially for me with my babies and my four little ones, and how important they are to me. And and being an animal lover and advocate, and and you, which I want to talk to you about as well, because through your work you also have organizations that you support,
Yeah.
and everything is connected in how we treat ourselves, the environment, the world, each other, animals, and being a vegan, and just really being aware of everything, and how everyone is treated is truly, I think, incredible. And to talk to you, and and to support organizations like Soy Dogs and the Humane Society, and these incredible people, Mark Ching, who is a hero of mine in animal hope and wellness, and ending Yulin, which is it's a cause for me that just rips my heart out. And I know that together we're
What
going to
is
make a difference in ending that. It's a horrible festival that's going on. And
Oh, is
it's
that what they kill? That's what they eat dog meat.
yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't even say it because and I have a page on my website,
Yeah. Mm.
and having just that awareness out there. And of course, for any merchandise that's purchased, it goes to them. And, just letting people know that this is happening in the world.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's a perfect leeway into why I actually do, or why I'm donating 10% of all profits from the book to the Humane Society, which is the same people that
yes,
are supporting that cause, and
angels.
Mercy for Animals.
I just, for me, they're just such beautiful beings. And and I just, you know to think of that suffering is really, you have to, and you can't pretend that it's not happening, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of shy away from it. And that's why, for me, the whole, dog meat, and and the suffering and everything, especially because for me, dogs are angels. My babies are the light of my life. And the dogs are the most loving beings, and they love you no matter what. And they are always there for you, and they're always excited. And and they are your family. And
Yeah.
and that's for me why it's so important to, does it make you uncomfortable? Well, you need to be uncomfortable, because this is what's happening. And unless we come together and really say, like, this is horrifying, and you cannot do this, and make a difference together, because I always say we're stronger together. I think that just promoting that awareness is
Yeah.
huge. And when you have these incredible organizations that work so hard, that I just love and adore, and want to do as much as I can to support them as you do, I think that that is the best. Because things will change, and people will become aware, and they are starting to become aware. And it's not just saying this, this is the way it should be, and all of that, but it's just saying, hey, take a look at what is
Yeah. Just
really
what's happening.
happening, and just being aware. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about, so many things, but that, you created this beautiful story, Nick, with these incredible characters. And I saw your breakdown of them, and I want to know, like, what inspired you You know what I mean? To do
Yeah.
cat and and all of these beautiful characters because you've got a pug in there too, which
Yeah.
I love. And so and talk to me about them and like their stories and this beautiful world because just the illustration you sent me is magical. I mean, cats under the water and and has this like mask on and and you see all of these beautiful like corals and this underwater world and you think of a cat and you're like, is
That
this
doesn't
cat
happen.
right? Yeah, it's like, is
Someone,
this cat under the water and okay with this?
yeah,
So
that's what
tell me
someone.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, someone commented on one of my Facebook images, that image, and they were like, "But cats don't like water." I'm like, "Well, they do when they've got a fishbowl on their heads." And that's what she does have. She's got a fishbowl on her head. I mean, look, it's not entirely accurate to real life. It's obviously a fantasy book, but
Yeah.
I guess I've always been pretty obsessed with the underwater world. There's just it's such an amazing, complete. It's an alien world underneath the water, and
Yeah.
I mean, I love scuba diving and snorkeling and all that sort of stuff. Um, the alien creatures compared to us up here, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful down there. It's absolutely spectacular, and I think one of my favorite books when I was younger, it was actually called, I think it was called The Sunken City or something.
Uh-huh.
It was like a puzzle book, but it had a lot of like pictures of like this underwater city that they sort of went to, and I was just obsessed with it. So that and animal books and dinosaur books and all that stuff. But I've always sort of had a fascination for underwater, so I merged, I guess, that uh, the part of the story in
Yeah.
into the main sort of theme because of that, I guess. Like any art, you sort of just piece together. I think the best art that you can create is things that are based on things that you like. If you're working on
Absolutely.
any kind of art, and even for work, I work in an advertising company. I have to do work on all sorts of stuff that I'm not interested in at all, quite a lot, and it's a lot more challenging, I guess, and it's probably not ever going to be as good as it would be if it was something that I was personally working on. I guess you wouldn't probably. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. I put my heart into it,
I
and
know
it's
you
always
do.
amazing.
Yeah, your work is amazing. I mean, truly, I've seen it and I think what you're saying is like passionate, right? Like you've got this
Yeah,
passion and that's your voice, and that's what's so important that you honor that. And this novel that you've done took you 4 years. 4
yeah.
years to do.
Yeah, I've been working endless late nights.
Yeah.
I usually get to work at about 9:30 because I've got a family as well. I had a
Yeah.
newborn halfway through work. I mean, I wanted to do this book. Having a child, I wanted to do something that I could read to her and kind of keep her visually inspired through the whole thing as well. There's not many fully illustrated novels out there. In fact, I actually would go out and say, and I have said it before, but I think this is the first like fully illustrated novel where every page is completely illustrated. There's a few other ones, Harry Potter, Sorcerer's, whatever, Philosopher's Stone, and that.
Yeah.
There's a few other books like that. They're fully illustrated, but there are quite a few like double spreads that don't have illustrations on them at all. So I think that'll be a nice little marketing tool when it actually does get printed, which will be cool. Um,
Definitely.
so yeah, I usually start drinking coffee at about 9:30 at night. And I usually get to bed I usually get on the couch at about between 1 to 2. And
Matchas keep me going.
oh, marches. No, I need like, I'm not kidding. I put like 5 teaspoons of coffee into a mug with about the same of sugar. I concentrate hot water into it and then I put ice into it, fill it up with milk. So it's super, super strong. And that kind of keeps me going, which
Oh,
is,
that's so
well, it's
funny.
not good,
No,
but
matcha, I'm telling you, Nick, if you have matcha, literally you will wake up in a way that's not like caffeine because it has all these antioxidants and it's just compounded green tea. And it just gives you literally, it's like one matcha is like 10 cups of green tea. But it's so, so healthy for you. And it just gives you that natural energy that you need to continue to work on your projects and have that and also be healthy. You know what I
okay.
mean? So it's not like an unhealthy caffeinated,
Yeah.
thing.
Funny.
So it's you, sir, are in New Zealand. So your time is actually like, what is it, like 2 in the afternoon, and you're a day ahead of me,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
right?
We're, we're the first ones to get the day every day. So,
I know, which is amazing. And that's why I'm like so excited to have you on and to be talking to you. Like, you grew up in Sydney, you're in, in Australia, and now you're, I mean, it's just like amazing. And now you're in New Zealand, and I'm like having my matcha talk with you.
you are. No, I'm stoked. I'm really excited about talking.
So, but yeah,
No,
so
I'm
tell
cool.
me the illustrated novel, because I want to know. So you said like every single page is illustrated.
That's right. Yeah. So it's 156 pages, 13 chapters. My wife's a pretty fast reader. It took her about 3 hours to read through the whole thing, the
Okay.
manuscript. So it was a decent read. So I wanted to sort of give parents something they could read to their kids over weeks. I've got like a little ribbon in there, so you know where you're at and everything. It's hard covered. It's yeah. I'm really excited about it. My little girl, even though she was like 1.5 when she was seeing a lot of the pictures, like every picture that I showed her, she'd be like, "Wow." Which was huge because she only knew 4 words, so that was really cool. So I know that she'll really like it, which is important. Going back to what inspired the characters and all that stuff, I guess like doing or humanistic animals, or at least a story about them. I've always been such a big believer, going back to the whole animal thing, that I mean, not a believer, like, I mean, it is actual fact. We are animals.
Mm-hmm.
People that try and sort of push that aside and believe that we are something much bigger than that are, I think, a little deluded, to be honest. I mean, no doubt we are great learners, and we're much better learners, and we're much better practitioners of everything that's come before us than what other animals are. A hawk has like 20 times the vision of what we do.
Yeah.
A bear can smell something that we would never even dream of. Every animal has an amazing skill set and talent. And just to put our learning and our abilities, as amazing as they are, and it has built a culture of art and a history that is beyond compare to other animals. But that's only because of everyone that's come before us. It's not us. I haven't done shit. And to be honest, like, my book is only the way that it is because of everyone that has come before me, and everything that I have been inspired by, and everything that I've learned by. If I was raised in the forest by a bunch of dogs, I would be running around barking at anyone that came near me. I would. And that's happened before. People are being found that were raised by dogs, and they like literally were attacked by this child who ran after them and was barking. Like, it knew no different. Like, we are products of our environment. And
Right.
I think doing animals in that sort of setting is kind of, as humans in a way, is kind of reflective of that in a lot of ways. I guess I haven't really thought about it before, but that's probably why I've done it the way that I have. Um, Pieces throughout the whole book, like on each page almost, there's something that's kind of like a parody of some type of pop art or some sort of cultural reference, or things that would probably be soaked in by the parents that are reading it to their children. Or I wanted to try and make an epic book for children that parents could enjoy as well. And look, I'm really excited. Like, the feedback that I've had, because I've had a few downloadable chapters on Facebook that I've been posting up, and the feedback's really awesome that I've been getting. A few people have been buying books for themselves, and these are 60-year-old women. No, I'm really excited that it's kind of like, it's kind of hit. It seems to be hitting the mark that I was aiming at, which is awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I want to read something that I'm enjoying, even if it is to my children. And there's not many children's books out there that are exciting in that way, or at least have, I've filtered a lot of like adult humor and stuff in there as well, like things that would go over children's heads, or even in the visuals as well. There's, if you really look through it and like focus on certain things and think about things as an adult and potentially as a maybe dirty-minded adult, then you would pick up on things definitely that shouldn't be in a children's book. But those are things that I've masked really well so that they're entwined with like certain elements that kids would definitely never pick up on because they're just unaware of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Even, I mean, look, these days with the internet and everything, that's obviously, probably, the age brackets probably changed a little bit to people that would, notice things. But I'm really excited about it.
You should be. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible, Nick.
Look, it feels a little surreal to be honest. Like I haven't actually I'm putting the book together at the moment. I'm still finishing up a few illustrations and everything, and it's still going through a rewrite. I've got it through another editor and everything as well. And it's kind of surreal seeing it sort of come together because I mean, as you can imagine, 4 years working on something uh, so monumental as far as the workload's concerned is like, I mean, the amount of nights where I've just been all like, 9:30's coming, I'm like, oh man, like the last thing I want to do in the world is get up, have a coffee, and start working. Like honestly, especially after going to, having 4 hours sleep the night before. So, but I just had to sort of bite chunks off, and if you don't do everything that you can in life to follow your dreams,
Yeah.
and um, then your dreams will never come true, and you'll die having never fulfilled them. And I mean, who knows what's after? Probably nothing. We probably die and go back to the earth or whatever. And you gotta live your life as to the absolute best as you can. And I want to make a lot of money. I've always thought that I will one day, and I do want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to make a lot of money because of money's sake. Like, there's a lot of things that I want to do on this planet that need money to do.
Right.
Like, man, I want to go scuba diving. I've only been like twice. I've been once actually. I do a lot of
Mm.
snorkeling. And I want to travel. I want to skydive. I want to go on holidays. I want to enjoy life, and I want to see other cultures. And I want to snowboard in Japan. There's so much I want to do, and I want to take up skydiving as a hobby as well. And it's unless my dreams aside, I mean, I have a lot of creative ambitions that I want to fulfill, obviously, but
Absolutely.
and yeah, without pursuing those, I become really depressed. So
Right.
it's definitely, regardless of making money, I would be pursuing my artistic ambitions anyway. But I mean, there's so much in life that I want to do. Unfortunately, you need money to do it. So that's kind of in a lot of ways where I'm working towards as well. And I want to make a difference. I want to try and help animals. I've always wanted
Absolutely.
to. That's kind of. I mean, it sounds like I'm trying to like I don't know, like cheese up the aspect of it all. But
Oh,
to be
no.
honest, like it's such an like it actually is the one thing that really does get me upset. Like there's a lot of horrible things that happen, but unfortunately, the whole animal thing, people look down on animals in general. Like they're probably a bit more disassociative to animal causes in
Hmm.
general than they should be. And I think over time it'll change, like what you were saying.
Absolutely. It will. And, and it already is, honestly. And for me, those are causes that are so, so close to my heart. And, and I absolutely, the same as you, is taking that money that that you do make and making this world a better place, and by helping those whose voices we are, we're the voices for these beautiful beings, and
Yeah,
saying that this is going to end, and together, right, when we're stronger together, we're going to make that happen. And and there's the young people today, and and everyone out there who cares and who's working tirelessly to help, and that's just growing, because with awareness, and I always say, with awareness, that's when change happens.
yeah,
When we're aware of what's happening in the world, and I think now people are becoming more and more aware. And
yeah,
and through artists like like you, like myself, through all of these beautiful beings that are positive lights. And I always say, that positive light shines brightest, especially, in the darkness. And so, imagine when everybody comes together, it's just beautiful. So
Yeah.
it's definitely happening. And, and you said something about dreams and like making them happen. And those dreams are your voice, they're my voice. They're other, artists' voices, and honoring them. And it takes courage. It takes, 2 hours of sleep, maybe no sleep sometimes, but you get that because that's your passion and that's what you need to bring out into the world. And, and that's why I'm so excited that I'm having this talk with you, because you have been working, tirelessly, for years, and working in several different areas, and you have a beautiful family and all of that. But look at all you've accomplished to bring all this joy and beauty to whomever reads your novel and sees it, because truly I'm just like completely over the moon when I just see just what I've seen, and I'm like, oh my goodness, when I see this novel, I'm gonna not be able to put it down,
Mhm.
and yeah.
I would love to. I'd love to know what you think of the writing as well. Like, if you do get a chance to download one of those chapters, let me know what you think. So, cool.
Absolutely, and just all of the characters and how you've developed them and their personalities, because animals do have the most amazing personalities. I mean, they are little characters and little people, and they have voices, and they have things that they like and things that they don't, and they'll let you know. And and it's just like they literally are like my true joy. I mean, they are just pure in who they are. And for me, it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I
Yeah.
want to, and I want to know how you like found these characters and how you created them, because they're all literally, Nick, every single character in your novel is this beautiful, full personality.
Well, it's funny you say that. I actually brought my cat in before, but he ran out. But the main character's based off him.
Uh huh.
He does look like a girl. Maybe that's why I made the main character a girl.
Uh huh.
But he's the most beautiful cat. He's a Russian Siberian snow cat. He's white and
Oh,
fluffy
they're
and crazy looking.
beautiful.
But he's I guess he was the inspiration, obviously, for the main character. I mean, I've always been big on. I mean, I think most people are big on underdog kind of stories. Someone arising from a horrible place and becoming something much greater, and getting over, I guess, the hurdles along the way that are in their way. I was actually reading. I've been listening to the audiobook of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I wasn't overly excited by the films and everything. And aspects of them are amazing, but
I
listening to
do
the
love the films, I'm not going to lie.
yeah, to
They
be
are
honest,
magical and
I
beautiful.
yeah, I went and saw. I've only seen Harry Potter once. I saw it at the movies, and I was young, and I probably wasn't in the right frame. It's the right frame of mind that you're watching
Hmm.
things in as well dictates
Absolutely.
how they're perceived. But I've been listening to the audiobooks, and like, I mean, she's an amazing writer, J.R.
Yes.
Tolkien,
Yes,
like
she
really, really
is.
awesome. She's got such an eloquent, poetic sort of way of describing things, and I'm almost listening to it as well just to make sure that my sort of book is along a sort of a line, as far as the way it's written, that will kind of fit into the marketplace well enough. I probably should have done that before I wrote it,
Well,
I'm really happy with how I wrote it
oh,
regardless.
absolutely. And it's true to your voice, like she has her way of writing and her creative voice, and you have yours, you
Yeah.
know?
What actually what made me bring it up though was Harry Potter. It's almost like it's nothing to do with Harry Potter. It's a completely different story, but it's almost like has kind of got Harry Potter's got quite similar thematic sort of tones as what a lot of really important or like big fairy tales have. It's Cinderella, for
Hmm.
example. Harry Potter was kind of like Cinderella, being treated like crap, and then by his family, which he was just tortured by, and then he rises up and gets gets an opening to a new life, and that's kind of it's sort of like that, and that's kind of what my book is like in a way. Like Kat is mistreated by her brothers, who are seven. There's seven brothers, and they're all part of the Mafia.
Yeah, no,
They
I love that. The Mafia. That's
They, yeah, they're
amazing.
all yeah, they're gangsters. They're like the hardest cats in the city. And it's alluded to that they may have killed their parents because their parents were basically keeping them down. Um, it's not said, but basically, like they died in a horrible sack drowning accident. But her brothers, basically keep her at home under lock and key, and she's forced to cook and clean for them. She has a little rat friend who doesn't speak. He got saved by a dinner plate from Cat off Butcher's plate. And he hasn't spoken a word since his parents died. So, but they're like best mates, Cat and P, and what I'll do, I'll read the little, just so I'm not like
I
going into the whole book. I'll just read the synopsis for you if you
Oh,
want.
I would love that. That sounds wonderful.
Well, you're the first or second person to hear, I think, the official one. I'd like to actually get your opinion on it. Like, tell me what you think. This is potentially, as I said, this will probably be the narration for the little trailer that I'm about to do.
Okay.
But it's also potentially going to be the back of the book as well. So, in the great city of California, the Meowfia are by far the most feared of all the feral felines. At home, their baby sister Cat is enslaved under lock and key. Done with the abuse, she escapes, embarking on a perilous journey far beyond the land of felines. Lost at sea, she's caught by a ruthless gang of notorious pirate dogs and forced to the depths of the ocean in search of treasure, where she discovers an ancient city lost in time. Here, Kat comes to terms with who she truly is, gaining the courage to fight for her life and freedom, to fulfill an ancient prophecy that she inevitably finds herself entwined with. So there's quite a, I guess, deep story with quite a lot of sort of overlapping, I guess, subplots and sort of thematic sort of points and stuff. But essentially, it's about her sort of discovering her true nature and what she's truly capable of achieving. She's and it's also about sort of a different story which sort of entwines it at the end, which is an ancient prophecy. Gnawbonia is kind of it's plagued by civil war because there's no meat left because the dogs are a greedy species and they've basically eaten the place dry. So they're all living on rice and fighting over whatever lambs are kind of left over there. So there's she ends up meeting Bruiser, who he used to be the advisor for the Dog Senate back in Gnawbonia, but he got kidnapped by these pirate dogs. So he's used to translate ancient sort of scrolls and stuff like that because they're treasure hunters, and so he's basically just abused and kept in the dark down in a cell. So Kat ends up becoming good friends with him, and their friendship blossoms. And he's got quite an arc as well, which is really nice. So that's kind of part of it as well. So yeah, it's
Nick, I have to say, like, these characters, and they're just like what they go through, like you said, like they have these amazing arcs and these incredible friendships, and and there's like this drama, but there's like this real beauty there as well, and overcoming adversity, and I mean, truly a beautiful, like, as you were reading, I was just picturing this beautiful scene, kind of, you know what I mean? Kat going through this, and her friend P, and just, it's an incredible world.
oh,
It
thanks. Yeah,
truly
P's kind of
is.
like he's kind of like the comic relief in a way,
Yeah.
especially because he doesn't speak. He's more, uh, it's more of a like what he's doing in the scenes, action wise, which and I think it's important to have, I think, balance
Yeah.
with characters in any story. I mean, if any characters are too much the same, it's not going to be very exciting to watch. Conflict obviously is really important. So,
Yeah.
um, Kat is basically in conflict the whole way through. Like she is like just like devastatingly just trodden on the whole way through, like to the point where you're just like, oh God, like can it get any worse? And then it's like worse, and then it's like, can it get any worse? And it's worse. And then so when I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, but
Mhm.
if she does eventually get out of that, like it would be awesome. So might happen, maybe. Um,
Yes.
but she also is. I was watching one of your other talks, and I saw
Mhm.
you were into Bruce Lee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I absolutely love Bruce Lee. Both
yeah,
Jason and I love him. Yes.
yeah. Me too. Look, I'm a massive fan. Like I was brought up on Bruce Lee films and
Yes.
Van Damme films and stuff. But
Yes.
Bruce Lee definitely. He was a pioneer, and
Mhm.
he an amazing martial artist. I
Yes.
mean, Van Damme was just all face value, except for his punches where he like. That was amazing. Amazing punching. No,
I do love my Van Damme though. I'm not gonna lie. I do
no.
love him, and and my Steven Seagal.
Oh
I
yeah, I was
do.
thinking. Oh yeah,
But God, Bruce Lee, I mean, truly talk about an artist,
of
I
course. Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
oh my goodness,
Um,
incredible.
yeah.
Yes.
So I ended up um, one of the characters in the book is based on Bruce Lee. His name's Loose Flea. But he's basically a cinematic god. He's the greatest martial arts master in the world. He's also the biggest
Wow.
action film. Um, he's basically Kat's got all his VHSs, so she gets locked in her room every night when her brothers come home to eat. And she has a dingy little room, but she's got a scratching post, and she's got an old TV with a VHS player, so she watches his films nonstop every night. And excuse me,
That's
and
awesome.
she practices all his moves and basically learns from him. So she becomes basically a superhero in her own right, but she never uses what she's learned. And and
Yes.
she does eventually. So it does come out, and she finds her true self, which
Oh,
is really nice. But yeah, she's pretty epic. So I've basically done like a superhero novel for kids.
yes.
With
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited to read it, Nick. I am, and share it, which, I'm definitely going to have it on my website, on Kate's website and on my Facebook and everywhere so
That's
that
cool.
everyone can share it.
I'm excited for you to read it. I'm like, I can't actually believe, like, I guess I've been working on it for
Great.
so long, and I've never been an author before now. And I've done, illustrative work, publicly with, advertising stuff and billboards or
Yeah.
whatever and blah, 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 but nothing to this level where people will be sitting down in a room reading it with their kid. So it feels really quite surreal.
Yeah. It's
But awesome. Like,
exciting.
yeah,
It's
so awesome.
exciting.
I'm
And
so,
you said something that was so relevant because you said, dreams. Like, this is, one of your dreams. And dreams, I always say, are tangible goals, right? Because you have a dream and it is a tangible goal if you take action and you make it a reality. Does it
yeah.
take hard work? Absolutely. Does it take a lot of time and heart and drive and passion, perseverance, persistence, all of those things? Absolutely. But it's your voice. It's what only you can bring into the world and share with everyone. And to think that, you put together this beautiful story, with these incredible characters that, like you said, like, parents will be reading to their kids, and maybe parents will just be reading on their own, or adults will be reading. I mean, there's really no age barrier because everyone can relate to these characters.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. With the Loose Flea character, because Kat doesn't have any parents, he's kind of like a mentor through the book in a way to her as well.
Yeah.
I haven't really released anything with Loose Flea on Facebook, so you probably haven't really seen anything, but because he kind of goes into these philosophical rants in his films and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like Confucius style sort of uh, uh, like really sort of poetic sort of like views on life and how you should be living and stuff. She tends to have flashbacks a lot whenever she's in sort of dire situations of how he deals with situations, and so that kind of helps her through. And like I actually want to bring him more into the actual, maybe not the next novel because it's quite a long scope. I've got 3 volumes in my head that I roughly know what are going to happen. But in the 3rd volume, I'm going to have her actually meet him, which will be quite interesting. So,
I
um,
can't
uh,
wait.
like, I'll give you a little spoiler because it's like 3 volumes away. It's going to be ages until it gets done. But I want him to be like just the complete opposite to what he is on film. So I'm going to make him actually just have a stunt double that does all the martial arts stuff, and he's just like, we'll only drink Mount Olympus water and only blue M&Ms and all that kind of stuff. And like he's just an absolute ponce,
Mm,
and like so it's kind of like throws a little spanner in the works of her mentor in a way. But that's
that's
also
awesome.
it's real life in a lot of ways. People aren't everything that they perceive themselves to be on camera, obviously, because they're working to a written script most of the time, even though
Right.
people perceive them as that, which is quite unusual. But
Hmm.
actually, speaking of which, while we're down that line, you're asking like, I was literally at the start, like I told you before, like I just kind of just did pinpoints of like what I need to talk about my past because it's quite all over the place and it's been quite complicated. So I'm like 2 lines in,
You are
so
so
I'm not
funny. But
not gonna get it all.
but you know what? If this isn't going to be our only matcha talk, just so
Oh, I
you
hope not.
know.
No, I hope
I
not.
mean,
That'll be.
no, now that we've got our time set, it's like I'm absolutely we're gonna have more. So don't, and I'm gonna follow up with you on how everything is going with Kat and all of that great stuff. But I want to know, Nick, like from you, because you have worked on this for so long. How do you, and I always ask my artists, how do you fill your cup? Like, how does Nick give to himself so that you stay inspired and you take care of yourself and all of that? Like, what do you do, Nick?
I drink a lot of matcha tea.
Right.
um,
Yes, I
what else?
do.
Yeah, no, look, to be honest with you, these days it's a struggle to get much time on my own. Any time that I do get, I want to spend it with my baby girl and my
Sure.
family.
Absolutely.
She is absolutely adorable, and as much as you don't, because I'm often thinking, she's not going to remember any of these years. But in saying
So
that, like they are the most influential years of her life. They're forming who she's going to be in a lot of ways.
mm-hmm.
So it's so important that you do what you can to teach them and train them in life. And just by spending the day with them out at the park and going to see animals at a farm and stuff like that, that's
Yeah.
all part of it.
Yeah.
Uh, it's such an important time to be not palming your kids off on other people. I think a lot of people these days, because people are so career orientated, if they've got money, they'll have nannies and all sorts and all that. But it's basically that kid's going to be a product of the nanny to a lot of degrees. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't a bad thing if you choose a good one. But I want her to be the most amazing person that I could bring into this world. And she already has the coolest personality and she's like the sweetest little thing. She's so caring and thoughtful and amazing and quirky and funny and
She's
strange and awesome. So
adorable. I know, and I love the picture of you both, and I got to meet her briefly. She's
yeah,
adorable. And I
yeah,
always say, family is the most important. I mean, truly,
it
like it really, really is that family time is important. And to be there, for them
Yeah.
is so truly important.
And the way I figure it as well, if I put the years in now, laying the foundations for, potential financial growth in the future, then I'll have money where I can actually do things with my daughter and even just, on my own or whatever, and with, my wife and with family, and I want to, travel and all that sort of stuff. When I've got the time and the finances to do it, it'll be endless. I could blag on for a good hour and a half of the things that I am currently doing. But right now, I'm currently just trying to get through this Kickstarter campaign,
Yeah.
and finish my book to get it printed. So it's taking up most of my time.
Yay! You're doing it. And that leads me to my question of what can you share with other artists? What can Nick share with someone who halfway across the world is thinking about, they're just thinking about this novel or, this comic strip or whatever it is, this series that they want to put together. Like, what would you say to them, but they're maybe not as confident, or they kind of don't have the time and are making excuses like a lot of people do. What can you share from your experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, obviously, because I've been a paid artist, graphic designer and illustrator for years, I guess that in itself is enough recognition that, I knew that I could do it. So, I wouldn't otherwise want to spend 4 years of my life on something that I could potentially have as a flop. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew at least, even if the writing was bad with this, I knew that people would like the pictures. Do you know what I mean? So I was kind of like, that kind of got me through in a lot of ways. But as far as, other people goes, if you don't have the confidence and all that, or you're not sure what people may think of your art and all that sort of stuff, it's a very open world out there these days with Facebook and all that. It's very, very easy to just put your stuff up there and just get people's opinions. I think that's most important. If you're not totally sure about anything, just put it up and ask people genuinely. Don't just wait for likes. Like, write on it. Just say, I mean, I'm new to social media, like I was saying before, but it really is proving to be like, I'm seeing now why I always thought it was just like a stalking sort of network and like a way. Well, personally, I was
Where
on it for.
Where are you going?
Well, a lot of people will just go on it and just live other people's lives, just like go through everyone's photos and just focus on everyone else's life when they're not living their own life. Do you know what I mean? And I've never really been into that, I guess. So as far as a networking platform goes for artists, it's perfect. So I definitely recommend getting stuff up there, or just asking your friends, maybe not your family because they'll probably lie, but ask people that you can. And that's what's good about online as well. Like, make friends on there that are other artists. Go onto people's pages with other illustrations that you think maybe your stuff's related to. And maybe go into the likes and make friends with those people, and then get their opinion, because they're going to give you a pretty unbiased view on your art. So get opinions. If you're getting, if you think it's you can do it, then I would just say, like, it's pretty straightforward. Just do it. Like,
I know,
you got to find the time to make the time. Unfortunately,
Yes.
like, don't play video games. I haven't bought a video game system since Nintendo 64. It was a choice. I love video games, but I want to live in the Matrix. I will choose life over virtual reality. As much as I may jump in there.
I do love the VR. I do.
I know.
I'm so excited about it.
I know. The problem is I love it too much. Like, I will get obsessed with it and I won't do anything myself. Like, I will be obsessed. Like, I could see when it comes time, VR is so infused into our lives where it is realistic.
The VR.
Right?
I do.
Oh, I know, right? Me too. But when it's that good, right? People aren't going to want to live normal lives. People will want to be superheroes their whole lives. Like, why wouldn't?
But here's the the thing, like you can have, it's a balance. I think like life is a balance, right? So you can have something that you enjoy, whether it's VR or video games, which, I love and, Jace loves. And I mean, that's like a whole other art form within itself, right? But the thing is, like you said, just putting your work out there, but at the same time, knowing that as long as you remain true to yourself, right? So someone may not like it, someone may like it, someone may this. You can't mold your art over like what someone's going to like. All you can do is stay true to your voice and know that it's going to resonate with someone somewhere, that someone's going to get inspired by it, or someone's going to love it or laugh or cry or get emotional or get inspired by it. But, knowing that, what, I did this and it came from me and I love it and it's true to my voice, then that's really everything, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think if you're not doing what is at your heart, not only if you are successful at it, that you end up doing stuff that you're not really passionate about, which isn't a good thing. Absolutely. But it definitely will not, I mean, the thing is in life, you want to do what makes you happy, right? So yes. I think that should come before almost everything else, other than making things happy for the people that you love as well, right? But as long as, my goal in life is primarily to have a life where I'm doing everything that makes me happy, right? So if you're not pursuing that, then what are you pursuing? I mean, who are you trying to make happy? I sort of look, to be honest with you, I've been there myself in a lot of ways. I did a short film for Trop Fest, which is a short film festival back home, and I did it. I made it quite buttered up. Like I guess for film, because I want to be a movie director one day. That's kind of like my life goal, right? And I'm working towards it. I spent 3 years before I moved to New Zealand shooting wedding films and editing wedding films. So it definitely taught me a lot about the process. Where are you going? We've been on here for 2 hours apparently, have we? Oh man.
Well, we were talking a little bit beforehand, and we're a little over, but that's okay. I want to know about this. You're a film director, and then and your plans there, and then and then you'll have the day to enjoy. And I apparently will be going to bed because it's late here in Georgia.
Do fall asleep while we're talking. Are
you kidding me? No, I am far from being tired, Nick.
Okay.
So, but tell me. Matcha, yes. But tell me about film, yeah.
Okay, well, as far as, just going back to that other point, like I did a story that I was happy with it, but I did a sort of buttered up version of what I was going to do, and it didn't make the festival. I was disappointed at the other ones that did actually get into the festival. I thought mine was still stronger, but because I didn't really truly follow my heart, I was sort of more disappointed that I didn't do something true to what I wanted, or at least something that I would have wanted to watch myself. And I tried to do something to please those people. And since then, I've kind of been in the mindset that like I'm not going to pursue any creative endeavors within my own time and with my own effort that aren't in that vein. I will only do things that I want to watch, that I want to see, that inspire me, that things that I have sort of soaked in from life that get me excited. I mean, look, I think I'm fairly lucky in the respect that I guess I like a lot of things. So it's not like if I did do a movie, it would only be of a headless horseman that liked suicidal thoughts. You know what I mean? It would it would be, I'm hoping, quite a sort of a complicated sort of mash of different ideologies and themes and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess I've got quite a diverse taste when it comes to most things. I mean, like music, movies, everything. So I definitely don't ever want to shoot another wedding film again, though. I've done like about 35, and
Wow. That's a
I
lot of beautiful love.
yeah, and look, I think that's what was nice about doing it, in that I gave a lot of people an artifact of their past, something that their whole family could kind of cherish through their
Right.
whole life. I think you can really film resonates with its audience so much more than what a photo can or an illustration,
Yeah.
because you're playing on so many different levels. It's audible as well as visual, just in the most sort of basic sense. But music, music can make you feel things that
Yes.
nothing else can. Like
Absolutely.
sometimes I hear music and I just get like shivers over my whole body, because
Yeah.
it just hits a certain note in your sort of in your backbone. It's weird. It just like, and it makes you feel, and it's like, and that's what art is, and it's
Yes.
about
Yes, it is.
resonating with people and making people
That's
feel
right.
things. And I think I want to. I think artistically, I really am big on. I want to affect people, positively,
Yeah.
and
You
all the
do
rest. But
that. You do
oh,
that
yeah,
already,
that's.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think, I want to make people feel weird as well. And I will, in when I do a feature film, it'll be very different to what my book is. Like it'll have horror aspects to it.
I
Um,
can't wait. I can't
but
wait.
I mean, that's what I was actually going to do. Is I was going to use the money that I was potentially, if the book was successful, I
Hmm.
was going to make use that money to film my first feature. Um,
Yes.
but
I'm like,
yeah,
woo.
but
It will
well,
be. It will
yeah.
be.
Well, to be honest, the thing is though, like I only because it's been doing really well, and the feedback that I've had online from everybody has been so overwhelming. Like I'm so overwhelmed by it all. I'm so excited that people are liking it as much as they do, and because of that, I don't know, like I feel like I need, maybe I should do my second book straight after this one's done, and then maybe do my film after that, because I mean, to be honest with you, like if this was success and I could leave my full-time job and just work on the second book, I mean, it doesn't really get much more of a dream life than that, does it? I mean, I could
Right.
literally, you know, I,
Yes.
we could end up moving back to Byron, be living on the beach. I could be sketching in the backyard next to a swimming pool with, it's just,
Wonderful.
I mean, it could be
Yes.
amazing. So
Yes.
it would be silly to sort of pass that up to be stressed out in the way that you would making a feature film. It's a very stressful environment making film.
Yeah.
There's a
It's
lot
tough.
of aspects that culminate. So and being the director and producer and the film, like shooter
Hmm.
um, uh, and everything. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's a
I,
lot. It's a big endeavor. I mean, absolutely, it is. And filmmakers are definitely incredible talents and responsible for so much. And you are, but at the same time, again, you're doing what you love. And when you're doing a film, or whether you're doing a show or a novel or whatever it is that you're doing, it is a lot of work, but you're loving every aspect of what you're doing. So I think that's what's most important. And you're going to gauge where you are and what you want to do and all of that by how you feel from your first volume of Cat, and where you are and kind of where that success takes you.
yeah,
You'll see where that creativity comes. But just to
I
know that you have that, and you have that there, and you've got the novel and now your film. I mean, that's absolutely incredible to know that you're going to be doing one or the other,
yeah.
and and honoring that voice as well. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, the way I see it as well is like, I'm still. I mean, I'm not overly aged, but I mean, I'm not young, but I've still got a lot of life left in me, and I don't think I need.
Yes.
I think I was so rushed into becoming a movie director when I was younger, that I think I was just going at it too fast than what I should have been. Like, I think there's a lot of harnessing of certain elements that need to be sort of done before you're going to come up with something that is truly worth watching,
Yeah.
worth creating. So I think, every aspect, because I'm a photographer as well.
Yeah.
I think every aspect of certain things that, I've been a storyboard artist as well. And because I've done quite a lot of editing, they will all play a part into when I finally do it. But I'm not as urgently rushed as what I was in the past to get to that point as well. But I mean, look, to be honest with you, like doing this book, you can do in a book like this like nothing you can do in a film, or at least you can, but it's like the film would have to be a multi-million-dollar production. Like you couldn't just shoot it on a small
I was
cast.
thinking about that. I was thinking, God, this would be an absolutely beautiful animated film.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, truly, like I was thinking of just, for me, animation is just, I mean, my heart. Like I love, love, love animation and the process of animating. And you've done storyboards as well. Like, from storyboards to, the music, which you were talking about music. And, my fortune is my amazing husband who's, I'm constantly surrounded by beautiful music and the voice acting and all of that's coming together. And, I was looking at Kat and I was thinking, your pages are like an animation. I was thinking, wow, to put that together, Nick, that would be absolutely one of the most beautiful films.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Nick, for sharing. And I could literally talk to you for hours and hours. And you're amazing and you're inspiring. And I want to say thank you for everything that you're doing and sharing your art and all of the beautiful causes for animals and awareness and everything. I mean, truly, you are so inspiring to me, and I'm honored to have you on my Matcha Talk. And I'm
well, thank
excited for everything that you're doing. I mean, from your novels to film to, having an animated, film of these beautiful characters that you've created. I mean, truly, like, I'm so, so very excited to follow you and see your success. And, I always say following success, there's always a story, right, of challenges and adversity and opportunities and all of this. But all of that is just a part of our journey, and it's all beautiful. And and being able to share that with others. And thank you, because everyone who's going to watch this is going to be so inspired by you and your work. And I'm excited to have it on my sites to share. And I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, no, honestly, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and your passion is enviable. I'm so excited that you're excited about my work and everything. So
Yes.
I really appreciate you having me on here and being interested in what I have to say. So
Of
yeah, no,
course.
I really like talking to you, and I appreciate it.
Well,
It's
we're
awesome.
gonna have more matcha talks next, so don't you worry none. And I'm gonna keep everyone posted on your work and how everything is going. And I'm super super excited for you, and all the success that's gonna follow, because it's definitely happening. And thank you so much, Nick. And
Thank you, Mary. Thank
uh,
you.
I'm sending you the biggest hug from across the waters. Go enjoy your day with your beautiful family, and thank you so much for taking time on your day off to talk with me and share your story and your work on Matcha Talk.
My pleasure,
You're
Mary. Thanks for having
amazing. You're amazing, Nick. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank
me.
you.
All right. Bye, Mary. Thanks.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful episode of Matcha Talk with the incredibly talented Nick White. I know that you all are as inspired as I am by Nick and his story. And his illustrated novel, Cat, The Legend of Gnawbonia, will be on my website, baddaycate.com, on the guest page. I'll have links to all of his work and his Kickstarter. And you can also find out about my animated series, Bad Day Kate, and Kate's spin-off series, The Babies. So everybody, until next time, grab those matchas and remember, do what you love and love what you do.